right, welcome everyone here to ByuN Creator in the upper left in the blue. His name, of course, is ByuN. Upper right in the red. Recently signed to Blacklist International. It's Creator. All right, then. It's Ghost River map 1. It's an aggressive map. It's so, man. Still don't know how to think about this. I've spent a lot of time casting games on this map just yet. I don't know how much to think about. I don't know how to think about it outside of, wow, it's really aggressive. As a Zerg player, I don't like it. It's really hard to get my third base, but to hold on to it. This is TVP, and that doesn't really matter nearly to the same level because, again, it's a different matchup. My opinions as a Zerg player don't really count, but for now, this is going to be a Marine expand coming out of ByuN. The Marine to chase the Probe away so we can actually get the natural down. It's always really nice. Well, this also means that he's not getting a Reaper, which does mean that there's a little bit more gas in the tank to go maybe get a quicker factory, or in this case, get concussive shell marauders early on. This is an interesting time. Gumio, when he came back from the military, we saw him do this. This was like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago at this point. This was kind of how he was opening for a little bit, where he was going and opening up this concussive shell marauder idea, which meant that whatever first couple units, so in this case an adept running across the map, would get concussived, would ideally die, and then you could kind of take down all Zerg or all Protoss map control for a little bit. You just had that tempo timing, and it worked out fairly nicely. So first Marauder's out, second one is just about done. Concussive shell's done right now. ByuN hides it until concussive shell's done. I don't think he has enough damage to kill the adept before the shade. Now he gets it low, but the shade will survive. The Marine goes down. So there is that. This has now been revealed. And now he's going to look to hold the high ground. Now this attempt again is very low. Needs its shields back. But the Marauders, as they look to run across, one Stalker holding the high ground here. This Stalker, I mean, Stalkers versus Marauders are not great. So instead, this is just a scouting. This is just figuring out what's happening. Behind this, shield battery's done. So this should be fine here. ByuN's not building any more Marauders behind this. This early tempo is going to do a good job in removing Creator from the map, which is, if you think about it, that's most of the goal. But on the flip side, this Marauder will die. Second one, well, it's going to try to trade itself for a Stalker here. Creator may, I know he's fine. You know, I don't know. It's like, have you ever stepped yourself? Not really. You get both Marauders. You lose the Stalker for it, but Marauders are expensive as well, especially in this early game. So ByuN, well, he got a Stalker for his troubles. He forced the Protoss player back home for just a little bit. This Widowmine, well, we're going to see Creator do the shade thing, which we don't see a ton. Is he going to attempt it? Shot goes, he misses it. No, he messes it up. Technically, it's very easy, but in practice, not the easiest thing to do. So for now, we're going to see this SCV go down. Bunker's not available just yet. As we see Blink on the way. Oh, not there just yet, but Blink's on the way. We got, here we go, Warp Prism on the way as well. A couple more gateways. Creator trying to take advantage of the fact that he knows that ByuN spent a lot of money on these Marauders. He spent a lot of money on concussive shell that slows him down by quite a bit. And that means that any sort of tank count is going to be very slow. So you say, I'm going to go Blink. I'm going to get a bunch of gateways. I'm going to try to put a lot of pressure on the map. And this is 4-gate Blink out of Creator. Meanwhile, drop on the north side is scouted out here. ByuN took a very circuitous route. A very circuitous route to get here. The Stalkers are in position. They're going to get some damage done. Hiding away with the rest. But Blink wasn't complete yet. So this was not really the timing as it stands. But now Stalkers are going to start to warp in. Blink is just about done. And well, ByuN, he's going to have to pull himself back home. He's got Stim almost complete here. He's building Marauders. He's got a pretty powerful bio army, all things considered. So he doesn't have any tanks, but he does have this really powerful bio army that has got to count for something. And now the first attempt's going to be up the gullet there, through the middle of the map, or just into ByuN's natural. The bunker, oh, stuff's out of the bunker, so the bunker gets targeted down very quickly. Yes, Creator loses a Stalker, loses a couple, actually. The slow is a powerful thing. The bunker is dead. ByuN taking the opportunity to maybe try to knock down the unbuildable plating. But anyways, without tanks here, without this solid bulwark, every time you stim, it's damage. Every time you stim, there's no combat shield. But now he's going to get on top of the Prism, blinking into the main base here. Creator trying to circumnavigate, get on top of what he can. Oh, medevacs are so low, but he doesn't have a blink available, so he's not going to be able to knock that down. Marines, Marauders dying as they spawn here. Creator, this is kind of the last opportunity he's going to have to go in the main base, though. There's no vision here anymore, so he's going to have to scram. He's going to have to find his way out. Meanwhile, what am I drop on the other side? Not even paying attention to that one. Gets 5 workers. 5 probes go down, so ByuN, he does accomplish that value. Right into the natural. ByuN's turning this into a 2-base all-in, by the way. 2 additional barracks going down. There's no 3rd base idea here. This is just 5 racks all in. 5 racks time in coming out of ByuN. And Creator, well, is just getting as much, delaying this as much as possible. More SCVs go down, delaying production as much as possible, killing off Marauders as well as he can. And behind this, yeah, the 3rd base, it's not done yet, but it's on the way. He's adding in a Robo Bay. Colossus should get started soon. Widowmine drop goes down once again. This time it only gets 2 probes, 7 in total. And 1 Widowmine will go down. Medevac's dead here as well. So this drop pressure is done. Meanwhile, other side, ByuN tries to move out on the map. There's a 2nd Prism on the map right now, but that also means no Immortals here. Nothing like that. The build time was spent. And that does slow things down just a little bit. 3 Stalkers against 3 Marauders is just not a fight that you want to take. It's not a thing. So there is that. Now Colossus on the way. No extended thermal lance just yet. Creator does have the money for it, and it's gonna get started. Okay, charge on the way, forge on the way, extended thermal lance. Creator buying time here from ByuN's. This again, this is a 5 racks all in. Yes, there is a 3rd base on the way, but ByuN got his 5th racks, 4th and 5th racks before that 3rd base. He is committed to this. But Creator's done a really nice job, actually, of taking down these add-ons, of delaying the production of ByuN. So any sort of big supply window that ByuN might be looking for, between the trades that he's getting to kill off these Marauders and the fact that, again, this natural, the production there is just not really a thing, ByuN has been slowed down by quite a bit. So 1 Colossus already out on the field. 2nd one on the way. Where is this Colossus? There we go, just hiding at the natural. 1st Colossus done. 2nd one on the way. Extended thermal lance halfway done. ByuN now is going to start to take advantage of this 5 racks production. Kind of, he's not actually even building out of all of it. Well, the question really now is whether it's too late. We have a couple sentries. You can wall this area off, Stalker strap behind a little bit. Ideally, you get 2 Colossus. Ideally, you got the 3. But ByuN, for now, he's just going to keep sharking around. He's looking for that damage, whatever he can find. And the Stalkers, while they're dying, they are getting valuable trades. And, well, more shield batteries on the way. More static defense on the way here. And the longer this goes, the closer we are to 3 Colossus. The closer we are to a really powerful Protoss army that can go 1-tap all the Marines. Actually, I think 2 Colossus technically 1-tap, but you want that a little bit of overkill is really the thing. To make sure that even if you lose a Colossus, you're going to be fine to I'm not exactly sure how the math works with Marauders, but anyway. And now Creator with his 4th base on the way here. The game slows down a little bit. ByuN's timing was sufficiently disrupted that he can't really do what he would have liked to do, which is kill Creator with this. So Creator, a bunch of Stalkers in the main base. He's like, okay, this is ByuN. I know this is ByuN. I'm gonna go and there's got to be some drop on the way. So I'm gonna put my Stalkers in the main base, my Colossus around the stack defense in the 3rd. So they're not going to go down, and now DTs are going to show up in a couple mineral lines at once here, but no upgrades just yet. Armor's done, so they 2-shot, and that means the damage is not nearly as good. That'll be nice. You're going to get like 5 SCVs maybe, and force some... Do we have scans? This is 1 scan. Yeah, 1.5 scans available. So 6 SCVs go down. Price of 2 DTs, not horrible, but that very easily could have been 12 if +1 was done. So that's going to be a bit of a shame. Creator's not too happy about that one, but even still, an extra round of pressure coming out of ByuN's available right now. Stalkers are here, of course, but Ghosts are done, Vikings are done, and ByuN building Vikings is just always a wild time. He doesn't like to do it anyways. Moving through the middle of the map here, the army's not maybe properly set up. Disruptor targeted down immediately, and these EMPs, they blanket things, but Prism keeps the Colossus alive, puts him in a little bit better of a position, even at the cost of its own life for quite a lot of it. So it's damage that is getting done, but Creator does have his 4th base, and ByuN, it does trade away a lot of his army. So really not all that bad for Creator at the end of the day. Do we have? No, we don't. But if we look at resources lost, it's not horrible. ByuN does have his 4th base, though. It's not a planetary just yet. And doesn't seem like Creator has his eyes on building like 10 DTs to go kill a planet. He's not rich enough. Not just yet. So thinking about that 5th base on the bottom side, man, this map, very hard to defend early pushes. It's so short through the middle of the map. Through the north side, really. It is so short. But it becomes a little hard for the Terran to push as the game goes later. I mean, this, eventually we're going to see Creator, I think, take this base. And this is your diagonal, right? It is very far away from where the Terran wants to be, which does make life a little bit more complicated. ByuN, 2nd starport, +1 on his air weapons. Now, at this point, we can assume that this is not going to be just 4 Vikings. He's rounding out his Viking count. Sure, he's on 9 Vikings. That's Creator's like, oh, maybe there's an army there. I don't know. Zoning. But maybe, oh, I guess it was the Widowmine. He thought the Widowmine was going to show up. But anyway. So, yeah, he's got enough Viking. Generally, you want like 2-3 Vikings for a Colossus. 9 is a perfect number for this. But this is going to be for Liberators. The double starport is for Liberators. As if, say, Creator transitions back into Colossus after he loses the first one, that's potentially valuable, something like that. That just gives ByuN a lot of flexibility, and he's building 4 ghosts at a time, just about maxed out. Observer will fall, but again, this is nice vision that Creator has had. He's got a rough idea of where the army is for the moment. Behind this, there's the fleet beacon on the way. Behind this, we should see Liberators getting at it in 5 Marauders at a time. So this is our first max out. Coming out of ByuN. A lot of Ghosts, a lot of Marauders, very few Marines. He almost has as many Ghosts as he has Marines, which is just a wild situation. So Stalkers are going to run forward, pick off a Marauder. They got that 1-tap potential. +2's done in 5 seconds. 2-2's done for ByuN. A little bit longer than that. ByuN's just looking for his way up the ramp here. Stalkers, they get a Viking. If they can get a couple more, it's going to be really important. But for now, they're fine. ByuN looking to run straight at the gullet. Disruptor shot onto the low ground. ByuN's not splitting. Oh, God! Well, this pressure's done so. This is not a thing anymore. Stalkers can blink right past, or blink, I guess, blink a little bit behind the Widowmine, so they shouldn't take too much damage there. And ByuN just took the juiciest disruptor shot that I have ever seen. At least in quite a while, at least at the pro level. ByuN's generally so good at this, but he wasn't ready. And he lost about 30 supply all of a sudden. That gives, even with everything else, even with the 1-2-2 being done, even with the Vikings and the EMPs and everything else, it gives, well, an opportunity for Creator to move on to the high ground. But the Stalkers, well, first of all, they're not killing these Vikings. This is a horrible position to fight into, because it's such a choke, and this high ground is just, the Vikings are incontestable. So even though Creator had this awesome opportunity, and he did, attacking up through that choke just means you will die. It feels really bad. Another disruptor shot. This one is going to get targeted down. ByuN not going to get caught looking second time. And even as this was an opportunity for Creator to go and take advantage of the shot that he got, it doesn't really seem to matter. EMP is on top of everything. More and more Archons getting added in, because you got to build something here to defend this wild aggression from ByuN. It's just insane army that ByuN's been able to build. Well, there are EMPs in this army, so it doesn't really matter. Behind this, extra command center. ByuN's going to turn this into a planetary. By the way, was this? Okay, he did. ByuN loves to build orbitals instead of planetaries on his 4th base. It's just, he's a greedy boy. He's a very greedy boy sometimes. But as it stands, this economy is going like going like gangbusters. Anyways, ByuN through the middle of the map. Yeah, nice save on the Colossus, actually. This Prism with Prism speed is making life a little bit more difficult. Vikings are all going to fall down, and the Colossus are still here, so this fight out of Creator is really not all that bad. Really not all that bad. We're going to have to see exactly where it goes. I'm sorry, I was distracted by Peach Puns, by the way. So, but now Creator's going to try to go up the ramp. He's got these 2 Colossus. There's still a Disruptor here, but this SimCity is working for and against ByuN. On the one hand, it's hard for the Zealots to move through, hard for the entire army to engage. On the other hand, ByuN running through this choke into a bunch of Colossus feels really hard. So we will see an orbital go down. Back onto 3 Colossus right now. Liberators are done, though. That's very important to point out. Attacking to this army with ranged Liberators is really hard. Stalkers playing on top. They're going to knock down one of the Disrupt, or one of the Liberators. Second one. Well, second and third fall down here as well. Creator all of a sudden wedging this bulkhead into the third base of the Terran. We're going to see 2 orbitals go down. Maybe even a third. For now, this pressure, I mean, Creator, it was a bad fight that he took through the middle and forced him all the way back. He was very rich until he wasn't. But now more Stalkers are going to get warped in this third base. 2 orbitals are going to fall down. Liberators are going to start to get targeted down here with +2, but +3 is done soon from the Protoss player. And this setup, so what Creator has done is not only by dislodging this third base, it's not just dislodging the third base. It also gives him license to go attack the fourth base. Now, this is a planetary. This is not the easiest thing. And it looks like we saw Prism go down maybe. And now Disruptors are going to fall. Yeah, okay, the Prism's going to go down. I think that was a Colossus maybe in the middle of the map. There's another Colossus rallying forward because there's nothing here really. There are no, yeah, another Colossus is going to go down. And again, I know it was an Immortal that died on the rally the first time, but there's no Vikings. So these Colossus, they still standing strong. Archons through the Freedom Zones, maybe not the best. The Creator's taking reasonable fights. Now, he's got to knock another base down, as we will see the Liberators. They're being made faster than he can knock them down, is really the thing. So Creator, his economy is pretty good. ByuN still got a ton of money. Knocking down the third base was impactful, sure, but he can kill this base. That's going to be the big deal. Knocking down the third, that was decently mined. Not the end of the world, right? It's fine. Now Creator has to fight up the high ground here. Blinks on top, tries to knock down as many Liberators as possible. Freedom Zones are going to show up, but Stalker's going to knock down as many as they can. 2 Liberators, 3 Liberators remain. This army's getting evaporated. Creator trying to take the fight low ground to high ground is just not the flame. And for the second time in this game, Creator puts himself in a nice position, wedges this bulkhead, and then overcommits, takes a really bad fight, and you're like, oh man, Creator, you were in such a good spot. And now you're not. It feels like he's, even with these +3 Stalkers and the Disruptors and Immortals, seems like he's really afraid to try to burst a base down, and that means that he kind of waffles in these areas between bases, which then kind of means that ByuN can trap him between that and then Liberators and Marauders. And well, now Creator, for all he got the third base, he's going to lose a far more important one. His third base actually much more mined out. Only 8 mineral patches there. ByuN, this third base was much more delayed. He's been doing a pretty good. It looks like that base actually is going to mine out all at once, but for now it's mostly healthy. It still has 7 mineral patches, but we're gonna see a lot of these mineral patches go away very quickly. And ByuN's up about 80 supply at this point. The Colossus are going to go down. There's just too much burst in this army at this point. So Creator builds himself some opportunities. It falls down anyways, and Creator will lose map 1. ByuN looking really good though. So game 1. By the way, if you like this, you like what I do, you want to see more, you should go sub to the YouTube. You should follow me on Twitch, because I stream EPT Korea every Monday morning. Most Monday mornings. If I'm traveling, I can't really do it, but otherwise most Monday mornings, 5 a.m. Eastern, 4 a.m. Central Time. It's 2 in the morning Pacific if you want to do that, but also 11 a.m. in Europe. So go catch me live. I stream on YouTube, I stream on Twitch, and I cover games like this. Always a good time. And I try to find time to stream the rest of the week, but it doesn't always happen because life is busy. Also, as Stormgate stuff starts to pop out more and more, we got Stormgate stuff on the way. So that's always very exciting. Third faction, the Celestials, look super cool. I haven't played a ton of them because, quite honestly, I was a little intimidated, just a little bit. But they're super cool. They change up every idea we have about how you play on the map. It's so cool. Now, hard to balance, absolutely, but super, super cool. For now, though, we're talking about Stormgate, or Starcraft, not Stormgate. Freudian slip there, apparently. So anyways, it's funny, we look at this map, by the way, and last patch, it would have been, well, this is the map that Terrans were vetoing, at least TVZ, more so than this. We saw a decent amount of TVP on this map, but certainly for TVZ. And now this is probably one of the better maps. This is probably one of the worst maps for Terran in every matchup. So again, Terran pool, very much a thing. It really does beg the question though, because I feel like we see a lot of Terran pools. We see some Zerg pools occasionally, but we never really see a Protoss pool. And I guess to be fair, I'm not really sure what a Protoss pool would be. In-base naturals, maybe? Having 2 building wall, high ground chokes like this on the natural. Like, I have a very good idea of what characterizes a Terran pool. It's a lot of chokes, there's a lot of high ground, low ground, it's quick rush distances. A Zerg pool, very wide open areas, very large maps that allow you to go lots of bases, allow you to kind of go expand across everything you could possibly want. But what really defines a Protoss map pool? I'm not sure. Kind of hard to define. It's a little nebulous, isn't it? I guess it's middle of the maps aren't too big, so Zergs aren't super happy. It's not too choky, so the Terrans aren't super happy. I guess we define it more by negation than we do by affirmation, which feels weird. But I guess that's what's going to happen. This creator getting a full scout of everything in the main base, sees the 3 racks timing coming out of ByuN. And by the way, this is not 3 racks, 3 base. ByuN loves to do that. It's not that. It's not that kind of middle ground setup. This is just 3 racks. So ByuN moves his Marines on the map now, at least a couple of them, to maybe try to take advantage of this anti-timing before Stim's done, where maybe Creator won't be expecting it, is really the thought. These combat shields are about 20-25 seconds out. Stim just about the same. But ByuN moves out before then. It's kind of this idea that, well, Creator may try to go pin me in my base, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go take the line of sight blocker. I'm gonna see if I can make something happen. I think Creator realizing the timing is like, okay, well, I'm gonna back up a little bit. Stim's gonna be done pretty quickly based off this timing, and ByuN, well, we're gonna have to see what happens. This is a pseudo wall in the natural, a couple gateways, immortals getting made. Big deal though is sentries. Sentries are on the map. And that makes it really hard for ByuN to properly get aggressive here. Blink is done in 5 seconds. Oh, stalkers, they've been fished out quite a ways. One stalker doomed to die. But there's an immortal out now. There are sentries on the high ground. Probably the extent of what's going to happen. Blink is now done, so the stim is not nearly as scary. And remember, every time you stim, it's 20% of your HP. So for now, we're going to see stalkers. They blink away. And ByuN, well, Stim's going to time out pretty quickly, but even still gets a couple more stalkers. Creator again overextends himself. And yes, it is army for army, but each Marine's 50 minerals. Stalkers are worth a lot more than that when stalkers are much more valuable into this game. So ByuN would have loved to annihilate a probe line. We're long past that at this point as this observer providing vision. Stalkers, the line of sight block is not really going to be a thing, and ByuN now just trying to get as much value as he possibly can, but he's not going to get another stalker here. Really shouldn't. The bike was really nice out of Creator, and that means that for now ByuN has to back up. He loses his Marines. He trades 14 Marines for 4 stalkers, more minerals, less gas. But he does have his 3rd base done on location, so that's really nice. That does provide a decent amount of value for ByuN as he looks to move forward here. And behind this, well, we're not going to see charge. Not going to see some just heavy gateway counter up or follow up coming out of Creator after everything. He's just going to go, and he's going to get his Colossus on the way, extend Thermal Lance on the way behind. This just, again, very, very standard play. Which I think is fine. He defended the aggression out of ByuN. It didn't. He got 4 stalkers, and maybe that's like 1 more than you'd like to lose, but otherwise, he's pretty fine. Very manageable into this game. So extended Thermal Lance halfway done. 2nd Colossus almost here. ByuN, though, he's got another round of aggression, but the problem is you look at supply. For this to work, ByuN would want to be up about 20 army supply right now, enough to roughly equalize the army on the ground supply, so the actual fighting supply, while still having you know, like 5 medevacs or so, something like that. 3 medevacs. So he doesn't really have that. Probe, though, does scout out what's happening. Observer behind the mineral line on this 3rd base. Creator thinking about a run by, but not really gonna find it because he knows where ByuN is. He knows ByuN is getting aggressive on the map, and that means that He really can't afford to. So, Stalkers, think about things. Move up onto the high ground just a little bit. But now Creator senses this timing, and this is always where it gets a little bit scary. Terran goes for aggression. Tail as old as time. Doesn't make anything. It doesn't make enough happen. And now this Colossus timing is really powerful. But look at this surround out of ByuN getting ready already. He's going to pull the trigger right now, trying to get on top of these Colossus, moving on to the backside. Creator tries to save them, but the shield with the Warp Prism is dead immediately. Creator gets jumped upon. And ByuN moves on to the round of 8. Absolutely total annihilation there. Well played, ByuN.